Hello, my name is Adrian Huston. I'm a former tax inspector and I now help people with their tax problems, and particularly people who have been caught by HMRC. So today I'm going to talk to you about the Panama Papers and these 11 million papers that have been obtained from a Panama law firm, and which implicate people across the world who are often high-profile business people, politicians and sports personalities. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out over the next months and years as these people start to have their affairs poured over, and we will be able to compare what they have done with what they have maybe said they have done in the past, or maybe compare politicians' actions with promises and commitments that they have given in the past. So I thought it would be useful to do this video to explain to you some of the reasons why people use these various tax havens around the world. Now, when I talk about tax havens, these are often nice warm countries. They could be Panama, Bermuda, British Virgin Islands, all sorts of places, Belize, etc. However, they can also include places closer to home like Jersey, Guernsey, the Isle of Man, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, the list goes on. All of these are countries which in the past have been famed for a preferential tax status and also for the secrecy with which they guard account holders' names or the details of companies or trusts registered in those countries. So why are people using these tax havens? There are a whole host of reasons, and more of them are given in an article I've published today accompanying this video. But essentially the first one is secrecy. Now, very often this will be secrecy from their home country. Maybe the money is money that they haven't declared in their home country, and therefore it's going to be hidden overseas rather than being taxed. And of course that poses a problem for them in ever trying to repatriate the money, because these days such things get noticed. It could be that it's money from something illegal, like an illegal bribe for the awarding of a contract or a major sports tournament or something like that. Facilitation payments for big deals with government departments. All sorts of things which one wouldn't want to be admitting to, and which result in a payment being made, and rather than have it put into your own bank account, you arrange for it to go to something in a foreign tax haven, for example, like Panama. There are also a lot of ships, planes, houses, etc., which might be in the UK but are actually registered elsewhere, and often again we find the names of tax havens popping up. This can be to disguise who is really behind the purchase of the asset. That might be for their own, just simply for their privacy, or it could be because they don't want it to be known that they have got that amount of money to be able to spend on that asset. Also, you find if someone is perhaps anticipating a future divorce, they are shifting assets offshore so that when it comes to divvying up the money between them and their spouse, then there's less money around to be so divided up. And we've even seen some cases like that hit the press with a guy whose wife was accusing him of having stashed a lot of money offshore, and in fact he killed himself. So there's a story about that on my website as well. So there are a whole host of reasons why people put this money offshore. We have the Googles and the Starbucks who are using lots of different countries to route transactions around the world, and by doing so they end up reducing their tax bills. They shift expenses and income in such a way that the money ends up arriving in a country where there's little or no tax to be paid. So having said all that, I think we're going to see this story about the Panama Papers running for a long time to come, because there's an awful lot of information there. They've been gleaning it over the last 8 months and poring over it. And it's going to come out in stages, and even when it comes out, then there'll be the protracted denials that the people involved were involved, and then there'll be the consequent tax prosecutions and maybe prosecutions for corruption and other things that may follow in some cases. There are going to be the revisiting of separation agreements where a spouse has established that yes, indeed, the other half was squirreling away money in Barbados or whatever. And so we're going to see this as very much the gift that keeps on giving. And for those of us that watch the business world and the tax world and the political world with interest, I think we're going to get a lot of value out of the Panama Papers, and I hope you do too. Thank you.